Hello everyone, Mike Starks with RE/MAX Town & Country here, bringing you the first quarter real estate market report for Fredericksburg and Gillespie County. And as I'm sure everyone remembers, 2021 was really a record-breaking year for real estate in Fredericksburg and pretty much across the nation. And at the end of last year, the big question was, what would 2022 bring? And at the time, I was thinking, demand would probably remain strong, but that we might see a little bit of a slowdown just because of inflation across the nation has really been reflected in home prices, making the average price of a house a lot less affordable than it was just a couple years ago. Plus, we've got rising interest rates and a shortage of inventory. So I was actually kind of excited to do my first quarter report this year just to see how things are starting off. So as usual, let's just jump straight to the numbers. Starting off with the total sales for the county, in 2022's first quarter, we sold about $109 million. You compare that to 2021, where we'd sold $122 million. That's a drop of about 10.2% in total dollar sales. So right away, you can see 2022 is starting off just a little bit slower than last year. But now to put things in perspective, last year really was an exceptional year because if you look back at the first quarter of 2020, we'd only sold about $66 million. So the first quarter of 2022 may be a little bit of a slower start than last year, but we're still on an exceptional level when you compare it to previous years. And I don't think the difference in sales is due to a decrease in demand, rather it's just the supply is lower, interest rates are higher, the factors I just mentioned. At the end of last year, the average price in town was at $549,899. For the first quarter of this year, we're at $586,582. So that's an increase of like 6.3% in just a few months. And I do suspect we'll continue to see prices rise throughout the year, maybe just not at quite as fast as pace as last year, because last year we saw a 17% increase in the price of the house. And I don't think that's going to be the case this year. We'll see an increase, but I don't think quite that high. Now, of course, that does not mean sellers aren't going to try to push the market as far as they can, because as I'm recording this on April 6th, there are 39 active listings in the city limits, and the average asking price for a house in the city limits right now is $1,155,988. So anyway, certainly looking like it's going to be another interesting year. So let's move on to land sales. Here we see similar numbers as the rest of the market. Prices are up, demand is strong, but just not a whole lot to sell. So in 2022, we'd sold 68 individual raw land tracts in Gillespie County. That's compared to 79 individual raw land tracts in 21. So the number of individual sales on raw land is down about 14%. But the dollar volume tells the story of increased prices, because in 2022, we sold $43 million, and in 2021, we'd sold $29 million. So that the total volume of dollar sales is up 42%, which you really see reflected in the average price per acre. We ended 2021 at an all-time high with the price per acre in Gillespie County being at $17,263. And right now for the first quarter of 2022, that average price per acre has jumped up to $23,239. That's an increase of about 25.8%. And surprisingly, some of the biggest increases in the price per acre is in raw land tracts. In fact, we've achieved that new record despite kind of a sharp decline in what usually is our highest segment with the 1 to 5 acre tract. 1 to 5 acre tracts, like in 2021, we ended 2021 with 1 to 5 acres averaging $56,000 an acre. And for the first quarter of this year, the 1 to 5 acre average came in at just $29,000. Now, don't worry, this is not like some sort of crash in the small acreage market. That's due to there's really just not much out there to buy in this segment, with the exception of a new development, Island Reservation Road in Harper, that represented about 81% of all the sales for the 1 to 5 acre tract so far this year. And that's what really brought us down, because most of those sales were under $20,000 an acre. But just to give you a quick rundown for the rest of the raw land market, so like 6 to 10 acres is currently at an average price per acre of $45,437. That's up 40.5% up over 2021. 11 to 25 acres, we're currently at $31,691 per acre. That's up 44% over the previous year. 26 to 50 acres, the average price is at $24,778. That's up 46% up over the previous year. 51 to 100 acre tracts, the average right now is $28,812 per acre. That's up right at 50%. 101 to 250 acres, we're currently at $19,320 per acre on average. That's up 26.6% up over the previous year. And then looking at 250 plus acre tracts, currently we're at $14,287. That's up 46.6% up over the previous year. So really some really strong land numbers there. And if you ever seen me driving around town, you may have noticed my license plate says buy land. From those numbers we just looked at, you have to admit that's pretty good advice from a license plate. So let's see, city lots so far this year, there's hardly been any city lots to buy. There's only been 9 transactions that occurred, and right now the average city lot price is at $214,333. Now these were mostly older lots near town, so I don't think that's the new stat for a lot price. It just represents that there's really no new subdivision lots on the market right now. So what does the rest of the year hold? That's a tough question. You know, with everything happening right now, you know, if the Ukraine conflict explodes, who knows? But I think barring that, we're going to really continue to see a lot of buyers and not a whole lot of inventory in Fredericksburg. And again, really kind of the same thing across the nation. Fredericksburg and Texas in particular, I think will do very well as there's a continuation for that fleet of safety, both physically, you know, where people are moving their families for physical safety. But we're also seeing a lot of financial fleet for safety as folks just look to invest their money in something that's relatively stable, that keeps up with inflation, and real estate is one of those few things that do that. So I think even if the Fed increases rates as aggressively as they say they are, you know, the fundamentals of why some folks are wanting to buy here are going to remain strong. So for now, you know, I think we're in good shape. So that's it for now. As usual, if you're watching this on Facebook or somewhere else, you can get more details on my site at mikestarks.com. There should be a link up above or down below that'll get you there. And thanks for watching.